About a week ago, life was normal. You were going to uni, working, training, whatever it was you were occupying your time with. But the full moon was coming up, and there was something odd about it. A red ink slowly filled up the moon, covering its pearly white surface. The light that reflected off this moon was filtered through the clouds, causing the Earth's dark red haze. It was a red light was coming off the moon. Sorry, Denver rewrote this intro, and it's odd to me now. So yeah, the moon is red, and it's causing a red haze all over the Earth. Yeah. And then so like videos of the phenomenon filled the internet. Captivating people and really confusing experts worldwide. They kind of didn't know what was going on. But then like, you're all pretty internet savvy, and soon after that video, more videos started showing up on the internet. And this is kind of strange. Some of these videos showed police officers just emptying clips into hulking figures, right? Yeah? And then some of them were scenes so bloody that they appeared like 80s slasher films. And then there were also videos of people just screaming and running from things that just couldn't be seen. CBRS, or Cerberus, a benign organization within the government that you all sort of knew about, but nobody really knew what it did. It was just in the government. They don't, never did anything, but it was just part of the government. Suddenly rose up within the government, and they've just enforced martial law across the nation. However, life really hasn't changed that much. You often see people in a uniform with CBRS on the back just patrolling about. And you occasionally see them just enter homes, and then your view's just cut off by just groups of these people just blocking it out. You can't see what's going on anymore. Yeah?
Yep.
And people are going missing. Reports of violent crimes are sharply rising. Right? And each of you happen to be walking home one night. But oddly enough, that's the last thing you remember.
The entity.
The entity?
It is gone.
When you were saying the company's name, I thought you were going to be CBT. Fucking ball torture.
The entity from Dead by Daylight.
The entity
Oh,
from
God.
Dead by Daylight. So yeah, that's like a bit of background information about like what's happening in the world. So
Okay.
it's been a week, right? A week ago, the full moon of that month was just like a blood moon. And like everything became red. It was super creepy. But people just kind of filmed it and they were like, yeah, whatever. But then like, since then, weird videos have been appearing online, And like, a government, like an agency within the government has taken over the government. And they're just like running the shop now. And you're seeing like these people just everywhere pretty much. And sometimes they're just going into homes, businesses, buildings. And like, before you can sort of get what's going on, they're just covering everything out. Like, you have no idea what's going on, really.
I'm sure there's
you just
nothing
live in
wrong
life.
with this.
Yeah, it's just normal
Just
stuff.
an everyday part of life.
Yeah, and then you know what? One day, each of your characters, Charles Xavier, Enrique Pinochet, Gideon Mueller, Travis Peter Irwin, you're all just walking around town, walking around the suburbs or whatever. But that's all you remember. Okay? That's the last thing you remember. Alright? That's the intro, boys. I put
Alright.
couple hours of work into that at 2 o'clock in the morning. I hope you liked it. Setting the scene. Now let's get into character stuff. I'm just gonna go through the characters, and I want you to like, sort of explain them to me. All right. So, Charles Xavier, Seb.
Oh yes. Wait, let me have a look at it.
So you can go through your stats, your history, just go through everything like in order, sort of deal.
Alright. Charles Xavier. He's 1 strength and 1 intelligence. He's got 2 perception, 3 athletics, 4 grapple, 1 extra grapple if he's got a sword with him.
Okay.
1 swimming, 2 aim and throw, 1 acrobatics, 0 riding or piloting, 0 sleight of hand, -1 stealth, 0 deception, 2 persuasion, and 1 extra if he is accompanied by a fine damsel, and -1 infiltration and 0 survival. His disability.
How tall is he?
Oh yeah,
What's
fuck.
his race? What's his body type?
Oh, he's the white
The
man.
bottom.
Yeah, he's got this at the bottom of his thing.
Uh,
Just keep going through it.
Um,
Just keep going through it. Doesn't matter. Just go through
yeah,
the things in order.
His disabilities that he can't lie because lying is a sin and is unhonorable. That's not what knights do. And his other disability is honor bound, which he's bound himself to a code of honor where if he sees what's deemed a fair fight, he will not interject or help any of the sides unless there is any sort of fair play or interjections. He's very overconfident as long as he's got his sword with him because his skill is unmatched and this is what he's been training for his whole life.
Hell yeah, King.
And simp, he is helpless against any woman who calls for his aid because that is part of his knight's code to help miladies.
Literally a sim.
Okay. Sorry, I don't quite get why you put like the 1+ grapple, 1+ persuasion. So
Because whenever he's only overconfident when he has a sword. He's not very
Okay.
confident if he has anything else. That's what I did there.
okay.
That's
So
what I
I think the
Thought.
+1 grapple doesn't work because the whole point of
yeah,
overconfident
then it
is
wouldn't
that-
be a disability. So like whenever
Yeah.
you hold your sword, Seb,
Yeah.
you think you're gonna do better than you can actually do. That's how it sort of
Yeah.
works.
yeah.
so there is no
And then so
+1.
like the same with simping. It's more like you do anything
That's
a
to
woman
their-
says. You
that's-
can't really
that's to their
persuade them any
no,
better,
that's to
but
their
maybe you
persuasion,
think.
isn't it?
For me, yeah.
Wouldn't
Against
that
me.
+1 persuasion be to
Oh,
the
so you've
si-
just got
the-
it like
the
they
one-
Yeah.
literally have an extra persuasion against you.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I like that.
I could get rid of the grapple if you want to.
Yeah, no, I don't quite
See,
like.
it
So
is a
did you put the
disability.
extra point in grapple? that's what you mean?
No, that's not it. The brackets were what is added
Okay, yeah, no, I
when
don't
I
think
had
that's
them.
how it works. I think I get where you're coming from, but yeah,
Yeah, no, it's alright.
let's not murky the water here. All right,
Uh,
tell me the rest of
he's
the
quite-
details about your young man.
Quite a tall man. He is 6'1". He is age 22 and still is fucking neat.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
is lean but muscular
Ooh,
from his workouts.
yeah, I get that.
His backstory is basically he's got a rich family, and he was scrolling through the internet, then he found the Crusading Knights and their holy honor codes and justice in the name of God and all this other stuff, and he fell in love
I like it.
and decided that's what he wanted to do for his life, and that's
Right.
his hobby and his.
But he doesn't have a job. He just goes
No,
around
he
fighting
does it.
people
He
with a
lives
sword.
off mummy and daddy's money. And he uses mummy and daddy's money to fuel his passion, to go through LARPing and actual full night plate armor night combat.
Yep.
And until all this weird stuff happened on the internet,
Yeah.
and he thought this is a sign of God, and he needs to. This is his chance to use his knightly skills to help the world. So that's basically his backstory.
Okay, I like that. And so you got a
He's pro-
proficiency with large swords. Is that a
Yeah,
+1 or a
because-
+2? How many points did you put in it?
There's points I can give to it. I didn't know.
Ah. Okay, so yeah, you're supposed to give it a point, and then that point is each extra dice you sort of deal.
You could
Or-
you could take that point out of grapple and put it on the thing.
Yeah, so
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
so yeah, when you were sorry, did you have the cheat sheet open?
I have it now open.
Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah, this issue happened when the other boys didn't have the thing as well. So yeah, so you had like the boxes next to proficiencies and vocations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your skill points and stuff, you have to put one of those in there as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just for
I'll just-
easy sake, yeah, just make 3 grapple and then +1 on prof. Easy fix. Alright, but don't let me stop you. Continue. Tell me about Charles.
That Charles is very brave, all he needs is himself, because he's never alone, because the god is always with him. Very
Like that.
prideful in everything he does.
Yeah.
He's very observant. He makes sure he's always on the prowl to look for damsels in distress.
I like that. I like that. Simping out always. Belief.
He is an unwavering belief in the god's name and honor.
I like
He's
that.
taken upon himself to think of him as a like an extension of God as a knight.
I like that.
His goal is to help the weak, purge the evil, and find the source of whatever the fuck's happening to the world.
Yep.
Because it's not like it sounds a lot like the end days in the Bible that he
The
reads.
rapture.
His vocations, the only bit of work he's ever done is making sure he attends his LARPing and his
I like
dueling.
that. Yep.
So that's the only thing he's good at is 1v1
All
as
feels
long as they
great.
have another sword. And on him at the moment is his trusted, most favorite two-headed sword and a full plate of armor with chainmail underneath.
Dazed. I like that. Okay. Enrique
I should do a-
Pinochet. Oh yeah, wait. Do a display of your voice.
I am Charles Xavier.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. All right. Enrique Pinochet, Shimmy. Sell it to us.
Before I start, if I have intelligence, I get 3 points, right?
An extra
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Wait, I have 13, 8, 3, and then 2 for the disability.
Yeah.
No, 13 was.
I already.
Yeah.
13 was already. I added it all for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My character right here is Enrique Pinochet.
Okay.
He is Puerto Rican or Hispanic, as the race column suggests. He's
Okay.
he's 23 years old. He's 5'10".
You can't just
Sorry.
sneak that one in.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just keep going. I'm sorry.
I can see why he's resentful.
Yeah. His character disposition. He's sort of on edge. He's emotionally close. He's tense. He's resentful, and this will be more clear when you look at his history.
Small man syndrome.
When one of his disabling characteristics is he's overly petty and vengeful, and he will go to every length to get to enact his revenge. Anyway,
I like it.
yeah, Enrique Pinochet. He is a Puerto Rican refugee landed in America as a young child. During his adolescence in America, Enrique was forcibly involved in sort of a gang life. He didn't try and engage with it too much. He wanted to live on the straight and narrow. However, life kept throwing him into shit situations for which Enrique's developed a huge resentment for everything, basically.
Yeah.
During the Trump presidency, his family was taken by ICE, but luckily Enrique managed to get into med school in Adelaide and
Get me in
escaped.
trouble.
His beliefs and moralities, with the kind of life Enrique has led, one could not possibly say that the world is morally good. Enrique doesn't believe that people could be morally good either. He also believes that it's every man for himself, a striking contrast from his chosen path in life. With his goals and aspirations, he's always wanted to take this straight and narrow in life, get a good job, wife, house, the usual Puerto
American
Rican
dream.
movement. Exactly. However, life has always thrown him into a less than optimal situations, and for that he's incredibly resentful. After getting to med school, he just wanted to get a job as a surgeon, making money. However, he's considerably distraught with the current situation of the world. He's got a point in reflex, point in intelligence. He's got a point in perception, point in aim and throw, point in sleight in hand, stealth, deception, persuasion, 3 in infiltration, and 2 in survival. One of his vocations is he's a med student. He has a point in that, and he's a proficiency in suturing, which he learned during his first few years.
Thank God
And,
someone knows how to fucking lock works.
Yeah. That's basically my character, boys.
Awesome.
Demo the voice.
Yeah, give us a demo of the voice.
I don't know what you. Nah, fuck, I can't do it. You just asked me to do it.
All right, read the first line of your history with the accent if you can, the voice. Jimmy.
Yo, look.
Shibby EXE stopped
I have,
working.
I have performance anxiety when you like ask me to do something.
I have 5'10", and he's still
I get what you
Really
mean.
do
Like
it.
I can't do the
can
Kermit
only
voice
do
when
it
I
like, I
try.
want to do it,
Yeah.
and I'm like doing it. Okay, just fucking accept that and don't ask
I
for it.
always wanted to take the straight and narrow path in life. Get
Hey
away.
man, I always wanted
Get
to
a
take
job.
the fuck, dude. I can't do it
Get
now.
away.
Hey,
Get a job. Get a house.
Hey Holmes,
Yeah.
Holmes,
It's not bad. It's not
hey
bad.
Holmes,
Hey, oh,
Damn.
I can't upload this.
hey hombre.
I was thinking about cutting this like character intro thing and like putting it like on YouTube as like the start, but
This is
Jesus, Shimmy.
racism.
All
Hey,
right,
look.
all right, yeah, we're moving on. We're moving on. Gideon Muller. Gideon Muller. Shut up, Shimmy. I'm gonna mute you.
So the name's Gideon Muller. I'm 20. I'm white, of course.
Oh.
Bro, come on. Come on.
White is right.
Five,
Oh.
5'10",
Oh, yeah.
and you know I'm lean. I got that curious and moody character deposition.
Dark
you know?
moody, yeah. Alright.
Yeah. My disabling characteristics are I have no dick, of course.
Of course.
I suffer from delusions, which are mainly based around spoons whispering to me.
Did you
Yeah.
cut your dick off with a spoon?
No, and I also have a kleptomania towards spoons. I must gather them all. All the
Okay.
spoons will be mine.
Mm.
Okay, so I was born in Germany, Berlin, you
Mhm.
know, and I was given away to an orphanage because you know my family didn't love me.
Yeah.
And
I thought we were escaping reality here, but
yeah, and I was also castrated in this orphanage.
I like
You
that.
don't have balls either.
There's
Fuck.
that. Yeah.
This was an
Oh, so
extreme
that's a
castration.
distinction, is there?
They took your cock and balls.
they took the C. What is it?
You can never get
That's
CBT
out of
anymore.
Yeah.
They took the cock and ball out of the torture.
Yeah, it's just delicious. I was adopted by a watchmaker when I was 5, and then when I was 9, we moved to Adelaide from Germany because you know where else would you want to go?
Hamdorf.
Literally anywhere else.
My man living in
I excelled at school, of course. Was very smart,
Yeah,
and I
of course.
took up watchmaking and just doing stuff with machines like watches and you know door locks, of course.
Yep.
What else have I got here? Oh yeah, the guy died at 16, so he's dead.
The guy, you died at 16.
No, the guy who like raised
Oh,
me.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's dead, so he's out of the picture.
Mm.
And at a young age, I heard the whispers from the spoons, and because of that, I have great conversational skills
Okay.
because I'm always talking to the spoons.
Do you have great conversational skills with just spoons, or
No, it's
Women.
everything. I've learned the ways of talking to people.
Okay. nice.
So my beliefs are, I believe life shouldn't be wasted, and that people can change their bad ways and rise up to be better people.
Yep, spoken
know,
like a
as I
true
was-
crazy man.
As I was adopted at a young age, you know, it really made me take a shine to, you know, people being nice.
Oh, keep it.
Oh.
My goal is to acquire the Emperor Spoon, which holds vast secret knowledge, and the spoons told me about it. So yeah.
All right, can you give me a demonstration of your voice?
No, I want.
You don't want to.
That was it.
That was it.
It's just a depressed guy. Leave me alone.
Okay. Yeah.
Was that it as well? Or
No.
no?
It's just my. Leave me alone. Just a
All
depressed
right. You know what?
voice.
Everyone else tried, but you know what, Ben? You get like a crumb of a participation cookie.
Also, my skills. I've got a 2 in
Oh
perception.
yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Nothing in strength.
Yep.
I've got a 2 in acrobatics, a 3 in sleight of hand, a 2 in stealth, a 2 in deception, a 2 in persuasion, and a 3 in infiltration.
I
And I'm an
respect it.
apprentice watchmaker for my vocation.
Okay, I hope that becomes handy at some point.
What
in
what
life.
is the voice of the spoons? What do they sound like?
Ah, yes, my brother.
Ah, yes, brother,
Brother,
brother, we're brother,
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 take us
brother,
from the Silverware. Take us from the
Brother.
Silverware, your brother.
brother. The other spoons have communed with me.
Brother, they seek the truth.
All right, wonderfully done, Benjamin. Wonderfully done, Benji. All right. So, Travis Peter Owen, sell me on him, Dylan. Sell me on him.
Well,
Yeah.
character's name is Travis Peter Owen. He's 21 years old.
Can you read this
What?
out in character voice?
Huh?
Can you read this out in character voice?
Travis Peter Owen.
No, like your entire thing.
Yeah.
Alright, do it.
Age 21. Race is white. Height 6'2". Body type, I'd say a bit more muscular / athletic, that kind of thing.
Sounds insecure.
So he's a very calm guy, very calm, and it has an empirical sense of thinking. He's very logical in the way he thinks about his decision making, everything like that. He doesn't think very emotionally at all. His attributes: he's got 2 in strength, he's got 4 in athletics, 4 in grapple.
Love this drawing, Dylan. Did your child draw this for you?
I drew it. 1 point in pilot, or ride in pilot.
Yep.
Negative in sleight of hand.
X's would have worked a lot better.
Shut up. 1 point in stealth.
Come on, God damn it.
Negative in deception. Negative in infiltration. And +1 in survival. In terms of his backstory, you know,
Yep.
he was a semi-professional grappler, like practiced Greco-Roman wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he entered state grappling championships in Adelaide and SA, stuff like that. And basically, he'd been doing that since he was, you know, a young lad, and he'd gotten real good at it. He was winning state championship after state championship, but you know, time moves forward as it always does. Really past year 12, he kind of did with a really shit ATAR. And after year 12, he just kind of, you know, started working as a brickie, something to make money on the side, fund his sporting career, and used it as a little bit of conditioning for his actual training, stuff like that. In the off season, he, you know, where if he took a month or here and there off training, stuff like that, he went up to his family farm up in Tailem Bend. He drove up there in his 4-wheel drive, and he'd just spend time up there alone. He's a bit of a loner. And he'd catch all the pest rabbits and shit on his prop, you know, shooting them, and just like they come past and snap traps and stuff like that. He would just, you know, kill them and get rid of the pests.
I like it.
He knew how to skin them, cook them, everything like that, because he just didn't want to waste it after it died. In terms of his beliefs and morality, he really kind of doesn't care. He believes in like equality across all races and sexual orientation, as long as you're pulling your weight in a meaningful way. He hates slackers. It's basically his major thing. I'd say he's like chaotic neutral, in the sense that he only really looks out for his own interests, but once those have been satisfied, he's not opposed to helping other people who might be in need of it. You know, his main goal was to win the international and eventually world championship grappling tournaments.
Okay.
And after that, get a contract with the UFC. Settle down, have a family, done and dusted.
I like it.
Now, his disabling characteristics, I fucking forgot about it.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up.
His kleptomaniac for belts.
He loves a good belt. He does, yeah.
Spent too long chasing that championship belt. It's kind of, you know, it's drilled a bit of bit of a sentiment in his mind, and he needs to collect all those belts. He needs them all. He needs to be the champion. And for the next one, he's sexually attracted to Polaroid pictures.
Any
Now that-
any backstory on that one?
Nah, you see, at a young age, you know, he was just sitting there in his nan's house. You know, she was off in the other room making tea, stuff like that. And, you know, old people have lots of Polaroids because the cameras were shithouse back in the day. So, you know, he was reaching that puberty stage, looking
Yeah.
at these Polaroids, and you know, just started giving himself a rub, looking
His
at the
Polaroids of his nan.
well,
Oh,
just the
God.
Polaroid pictures. And
His nan was in these pictures, Dylan.
I didn't write this part. Okay, I'm just winging it. I'm winging it. Okay.
So
Yeah.
wait. There are Polaroid lewds of his nan for his grandpa from back in the day.
Fucking oath. They framed him and put it around the house.
Found
Oh,
him
yeah.
under the seat.
Vocations.
Oh yeah.
Not just the close combat. Like, sorry, fuck. No, I was reading proficiencies. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Vocations. Wrestler, BJJ guy, you know, martial artist. Put a point in that.
Yep.
Also put farmer under that just because that's all he really, you know, did in his spare time. But I didn't put any points in that. And in proficiencies, there's unarmed combat. There's a point in that.
Yep.
Done. So,
Awesome. I like it. Good voice, Dylan. It's all too natural for you. It's almost like it is your true voice.
Almost.
Perhaps.
Mayhaps.
All right. I think that's that. I like it.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm in that record.